Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Benjamin Owecho Ada. I am an architect by training and profession and also a servant of the Lord by calling. In case you are new here, welcome to this channel. In today's video, I'll be talking basically about some businesses I did while back home in Nigeria that actually sustained my family for a long time. These businesses sometimes might look expensive from the outside, but when you come in, it's a bit cheap to start up. It just depends on how much you have to put into the business and how big you want to start the business. For me, I decided to start this business from the scratch, sort of. And the first business I actually did, starting number one, is a car wash business. And some people might say, why do I go into car wash business? Yeah, from the outside it looks a bit off and small, but in truth, car wash business weekly gives you a return that can actually sustain your family throughout the whole week. And since it's like for me, I collect my payments weekly from the guy who I employed to be doing the job, and because it's weekly, my wife had no problem with weekly income for the household stuff that she needs to keep the home running, and it was a good business to start. When I started with a bit below 100,000. Yeah, 100,000 to be frank. I will break it down in a little while how that money arrived at that 100,000. Why did I start the business? I discovered that whenever I train, I take my car to the car wash because sometimes washing at home takes a lot of time. So I take the car to the car wash. And when I go to the car wash, in most cases, you see long queues of vehicles waiting. And I did a rough calculation of how much all this will cost at the end of the day. And I discovered, man, if you can do this for a whole day and for a whole week, this is good return on investment. And I asked the guy who was doing the car wash, and I said, sorry, to start something like this, how much will it cost me? And he gave me a rough estimate. Well, to rent a place like this, you can rent for about 20,000 for 6 months. That's for the space. At least that can take 2 cars or 3 at a time. And how much was the machine at that point? When I bought the machine, it was 65,000 that I bought the machine. I bought the water tank that I'll be using for the car wash. I bought a second hand from a construction site where they finished working at, and I bought it for 10,000. Give and take, other things I put together, about 10,000 as well, and business was ready. And that was how I started the car wash business. And to tell you the truth, every week the returns are there. I just told my wife, I don't want to get involved in this business. Every week, just go there, collect the money from the guy, Yakubu, and not ask me for anything that has to do with the home front. And that was it. And it was good enough that that money was sustaining us for a long period of time. I kid you not. I didn't stop that business until I left Nigeria. I was doing it consistently. Whenever the guy, everything that has to do with maintenance was on the guy that was managing it, because what the agreement we had was, you are going to give me this amount every week, and with this amount, whatever is left is yours. So he works a whole lot of time overtime because he needs more money. And I tell you what, the guy was doing exceedingly well. And the truth is, it was from this car wash business that Yakubu got married. I kid you not. Yakubu got married from this car wash business. In a way, I became an employer of labor. I was gaining from this business, and I employed someone who was also benefiting from this business. So give it a try. Business number 2, transport. I saved some money, and at that time, I bought a bike. That was, we'll call it Going, or whatever the name is. I don't know what the name is right now back home in Nigeria. But there it was Going, I will usually call it. I bought this bike, brand new. I took the guy that wanted to ride the bike. We went together to the store, the machine store, and we bought this bike, brand new. And we had an agreement with him as well, weekly returns. What he does is, everything that has to do with the bike, he handles. The only thing I handle is major maintenance of the bike or a monthly service. That's what I handle from the bike. But other thing, he did all that. So that business as well helped my family to save a lot, because every week the guy brings the money back home and hands it over to the family, and he continues the job. And after 6 months, I sold that bike and bought another one, brand new as well. And that was how that business sustained my family also while I was back home in Nigeria. It might look small. The truth is, I didn't have to touch my salary much because the returns from the car wash and from this bike was actually running my home. And because of that, my salary is saved for something else. And that takes me to point number 3, the business number 3 that I opened up, which was the business center in Kuje, in Kuje Oil and Gas. I went there, asked for how much the space of the office was. And at that time, it was 150,000 per month. And because of the money I've saved from my salary, because I wasn't taking my salary anymore, because of the car wash business and the bike, I was saving my salary. I was able to rent the space, get the machines that I need for the business center, the photocopier, the printers and everything. And this was how I started business. This business center went on for a very long time as well. And in conjunction with doing just the business center, doing photocopying, typing and everything, I added on it POS. I started doing POS as well. Just little money I gave to the guy who was handling the business center. I said, look, add this to the business. I gave him the startup fund. I gave him about 100,000 then to start up the fund to be doing the POS. And at the end of the day, returns also was good on that. It might look impossible to start up, but I tell you what, once you put your mind to it and you can raise a little capital, you can start all these businesses. They don't cost much as we think. The thing is, it's a choice to make. And if you feel like going into such businesses and you want me to guide and advise you, please leave a comment or get in touch with me and I will guide you through these businesses, how to set them up, what to do, how to make them work. It's important because in today's world, the worst you can do to yourself is to just have one source of income, which is your salary. I tell you what, it can never sustain you. The best you can do to make yourself a little bit free from all the stress of life is setting up alternative income, source of income. And once you can do that, I kid you not, you are home and dry. So give it a try. Start up today. Don't start with 2 or 3, just start with 1. And once you start with 1, it leads to the next. And that's how you open up a chain of business. And that's how most of these successful people, that's how they started. Start small and grow big. And this leads me to business number 4, farming. Yes, farming. You say, Ben, did you really farm? Yes, I farmed a lot before I left Nigeria. I farmed so much that my produce from my farm was enough to sustain me year and not just for a year. Sometimes it takes me 2 years to consume all I farmed for 1 year. Yes, I tell you the truth. My neighbors then can attest to it. Some of my colleagues who work in the same office can also attest to that as well because we live in the same estate. Now, how did I start the farming? One of my security guards then who guards our estate, I met him and I said, Sam, I need a space to farm. Do you know who I can meet that can give me space that I can start farming? He was like, do you really want to farm? I said, yes, I want to farm. So he took me to some other guy, and who was the manager to one very large farm then in Kuje. They have massive land for farming. And I met the manager and I said, please, I want to have a space to farm. Will that be possible? And he said, yes. He took me to one of the farm 3, and he said, just pick any portion here and start. And I said, how much will it cost me to get this space? He was like, no. Sam has told me a lot about you, and I feel this is the favor I can do for you. And that's how the manager gave me that space free of charge. I didn't pay any dime to acquire that space. And that was how I started farming in that farm 3. And I tell you the truth, it's so pleasurable going to farm once in a while to watch what is happening. Yeah, you might ask, did I really do the farm myself? No, I didn't. I employed some labor. The guys that did the heaps and the ridges, I pay them for that. They do that. When it comes to the weeding seasons, I buy the chemicals, they spray as well. When it comes to harvesting, together with myself and my family, we'll go together and get 1 or 2 hands to do the, because most times the harvest is always massive. We'll join hands together and do the harvest. And I tell you something, that farm produce wasn't only consumed by me. My neighbors, my friends, my colleagues also partook of that consumption. But even giving out this to my friends and colleagues and neighbors, I still have enough to spare. I tell you, like from the beginning, I said, sometimes what I farm for this year can take me for the next 2 years. So I wasn't going to the farm to buy stuff like gari, stuff like yam, beans, groundnut, I don't buy because I grow all this in my farm locally. And what better way to grow healthy, to eat healthy? You know what you're producing, you know what you're consuming. The cassava I farm on my land, I convert to Gary. I follow the process all through. Myself and my wife, we're involved in these processes of, turning the cassava to Gary. We do that, we follow them step by step. My Gary is always very healthy. And it won't cost too much to even start farming. It won't. And with Nigeria of today, aside the insecurity, the best thing now to do as a country right now is to go back to the farm. For me, I was already doing it, and if I'm still back home, I'll still continue doing it because farming helped me a lot. And when I was moving out of the country, I had a lot of grain stored. What did I do with them? I gave it to people around. I called them in and I shared everything to them. And I said, look, I won't be going with this abroad, so distribute it among yourselves. And that was what they did. So I encourage us today, please, if you can't get the land in a very large scale, just get a small portion and start something. And once you start that farm, I kid you not, you enjoy it. It's a hobby. Once you go to the farm, the environment alone is so good that whenever I go to the farm, it gives me opportunity to think clear. Because when you hear the chirpings of the birds and everything, and you're in a very good natural environment, it gives you concepts. So please give it a try. Give it a try. It's worth it. So these are the businesses I did, the few ones I did while I was back home in Nigeria that actually helped me. There are some I did aside those ones as well, which I didn't talk in this video because I didn't do them consistently. I do them once in a while, but they also help me also. So if you want to know all that also, just put it in a comment and I will tell you what I did. So today I want to let you know that no matter how much you have, you can start something. But please don't depend on your salary alone. That cannot take you home. The take-home pay can never take you home anymore. So please try and digress. Try a bit to move to the left or to the right and start something. Start small. Start small. It might not be too much. If you think, how do I get the capital? When I was back home in Nigeria, there's something we do in my office, which is contribution. We try to contribute money, like 10 of us come together, put in 50,000 naira every month. We give it to one person, and within 10 months, you go around, and in most cases, when you put that 550,000 together, at the end of the month, one person goes home with 500,000. That's enough to kickstart the business. I did that a lot when I was back home in Nigeria. Every year I was doing it, and that was being put into my businesses, and that was how I developed and I grew. So please try something like that. Going to the bank to collect loans are sometimes very difficult and expensive. So those contributions within those people you trust around can go a long way to help your business grow. So please don't wait anymore. Start something today. And if this video has helped and blessed you, please don't forget to, if you have not done that already, subscribe, like, share, and turn on that notification button so that when I post the next video, you'll be the first to be notified. Thank you once again for watching this video. I remain Benjamin Owecho Ada. See you in the next video.